Roll up, roll up. We're honoured to share some heartwarming news with all of you. This coming Saturday, the 1st of November 2025, our very own Miss Belle Pomme and Horse Magorse will be saying their I do's. What a beautiful twist of fate. Their journey together has been a whirlwind of emotions, filled with joy and tears and unforgettable moments that have led them to this very point. The anticipation is, and the thrill is skyrocketing as we near the magical day. This union signifies not just a bond between two people, but the coming of their unique personalities, forming a novel blend of love. Keeping this theme of blending and fusion, we're going to commemorate this joyous revelation with a recipe that mirrors our sentiments. Yes, you're thinking right. We're going to deep dive into a recipe for an extra sweet, classic baked American cheesecake, which uses an extravagant 700 grams of sugar in total. So, buckle up as we embark on this sweet journey, just as sweet as the news we've shared. Let's uncover the secrets of an extra sweet, classic baked American cheesecake. The recipe details follow, as provided in the prompt, with the closing question being, shall we also break down the approximate calories per slice, assuming we're dividing this decadent dessert into 12 servings? First, we'll prepare the crust and the filling for our cheesecake. The crust is the foundation of our cheesecake, and we'll be using digestive biscuits or graham crackers. We start by crushing these biscuits into fine crumbs. Be sure to crush them finely, as this will help to create a firm and stable base for our cheesecake. Next, we add the melted, unsalted butter and granulated sugar into our biscuit crumbs. The butter acts as a binding agent, holding our crumbs together, while the sugar adds a touch of sweetness. Stir this mixture until it's evenly combined. Once our crust mixture is ready, we press it firmly into the base of a greased 9-inch springform tin. The key here is to pack the crust tightly and evenly, ensuring it reaches all the edges of the tin. We then chill this in the fridge while we prepare the filling. Now let's move on to the cheesecake filling. This is where our cheesecake gets its rich, creamy texture and sweet flavour. We begin with full-fat cream cheese, which should be at room temperature. We beat this until it's smooth and creamy. Next, we gradually add in the granulated sugar, mixing well to ensure it's fully incorporated. The sugar not only sweetens our cheesecake, but also helps to give it a smooth, creamy texture. Following the sugar, we beat in the sour cream, eggs, and extra yolk one at a time. The sour cream adds a touch of tanginess to balance out the sweetness, while the eggs help to set the cheesecake as it bakes. Finally, we mix in plain flour, vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. The flour helps to stabilize the cheesecake, preventing it from cracking as it bakes, while the vanilla extract adds a lovely depth of flavor. Remember, don't overbeat at this stage. We want everything to be just incorporated. The crust and filling are ready. Now it's time to bake. With our oven preheated, we're ready to bake our cheesecake. Pour the luscious filling over the crust, making sure to spread it evenly. Now, place it in the center rack of the oven and let it bake for 1 hour to 70 minutes. The key here is patience. Rushing the baking process may result in an undercooked center or a burnt crust. You'll know it's done when the edges are set, but the center still has a slight wobble. Remember, the cheesecake will continue to cook a bit, even after you take it out of the oven. To avoid cracks, turn off the oven, leave the door ajar, and let the cheesecake cool down slowly for an hour. This gentle cooling process helps to prevent the sudden change in temperature that can cause cracking. While our cheesecake cools, let's get to know our bride-to-be, Miss Belle Pomme, and her family. While our cheesecake is cooling, let's step into the world of our vibrant and endearing characters. First off, we have none other than Miss Belle Pomme, or our Madame Butterfly, as we fondly call her. A character that is impossible to overlook, she insists on being addressed by her full name. and her individuality is unparalleled. Her sister, Hauve, is equally unique. Hauve is round and made of candy floss, and she's also the mother of 3 extraordinary children. There's Pole, the male polar bear, Nuddles, the female golden bear, and the youngest of the trio, and Zoe, the middle child who's made of candy floss, round, and has yellow hair in pigtails. Horsmagorse is Miss Bell-Pum's arch-nemesis, and in our eyes at Jane Fitzcostelia and Friends, he's a villain. Always playing the saint, he's consistently trying to pin us as mischievous and outrageous. Now let's not forget about Miss Bell-Pum's and Hauve's mother, Kirtleloo. She's so plump, she needs to be rolled in the door. For the first time today, we're introducing some new faces to the family. Please welcome the cousins, Jimbo Jun, Fool-a-Hool, Green My-Q, and the main cousin, Fiddly Widdly Piddly. Me share a funny story about Fool-a-Hool. He was once serving ice cream sundaes, and Miss Bell-Pum was loitering outside Kirtleloo's house. Suddenly, a painful sound was heard. Later at dessert, some people fell sick as the sauce used in the ice cream. Sundaes turned out to be vomit. We had to slap ourselves on our wrists and give Fool-a-Hool a good spanking for that. Before we get back to our let's sing a quick song for Sir Giggleswick. There once was a man named Sir John Giggleswick. He laid vanilla cream on his spotted dick. The hot wind came around and blew a fit again. That was the end of poor Sir John Giggleswick. Now that we've had our fun, let's return to our cheesecake. Our cheesecake is cooled, and now it's time for the final touch, the topping. This is where we add that extra layer of sweetness to our already delightful cheesecake. Remember, this is an extra sweet American cheesecake, so we're going all in with 100 grams of powdered sugar. Now, let's get this topping underway. We'll start off by taking our 200 grams of sour cream and add in our powdered sugar. This combination of sour cream and sugar creates a deliciously tangy and sweet topping that perfectly complements the richness of our cheesecake. Let's not forget our teaspoon of vanilla extract. This will tie in the flavors of our crust and filling, creating a harmonious blend of sweetness throughout our cheesecake. Mix this all together until it's smooth, because we want a silky topping that will glide over our cheesecake with ease. Once our topping is all mixed, it's time to spread it over the cooled cheesecake. Take your time with this step. We want an even layer of topping all over our cheesecake. It's not just about the taste, it's also about the presentation. Once our topping is evenly spread, it's time to let our cheesecake chill. Yes, the waiting is the hardest part, but trust me, it's worth it. Let it refrigerate for at least 4 hours, but if you can hold off until the next day, even better. This allows all the flavors to meld together and the texture of the cheesecake to become perfectly firm yet creamy. After the agonizing wait, our cheesecake is ready to serve. Slice it up and marvel at the beautiful layers, the crunchy crust, the rich and creamy filling, and the sweet and tangy topping, all working together to create a symphony of flavors in your mouth. And there you have it, a cheesecake as sweet as the love story of Miss Bell-Pum and Horsmagorse. Enjoy. In most stores, our cheesecake is ready to be devoured, and so is the love story of Miss Bell-Pum and Horsmagorse. We've journeyed through the creation of extra sweet, classic baked American cheesecake with a staggering 700 grams of sugar. From the buttery crust to the creamy filling and the sweet topping, it's a dessert that's sure to satisfy the sweetest tooth. We also delved into the whimsical world of Miss Bell-Pum, her delightful sister Hauve, and their fascinating children. Pole, the male polar bear, Nuddles, the female golden bear and the youngest, Zoe, who is made of candy floss, and is round with short yellow hair in pigtails. We've met the Candy Floss characters, the cousins Jimbo Jun, Fool Ahool, Green My Q, Fiddly Widdly Piddly, and even the villainous Horse Magorse. Their lives are as rich and layered as cheesecake, and just as sweet. As we anticipate the upcoming marriage of Miss Belle Pum and Horse Magorse, and the mischief that ensued at their picnic dinner, we can't help but feel a sense of joy and excitement. It's a testament to the power of love and the sweetness it brings to our lives. Thank you for joining us today. But wait, there's more. Bend your ear and listen closely, for there's another tale coming through the radio waves. We're straining hard to catch it. Got now? That's a story for another time. Until next time, keep creating sweet memories and even sweeter treats. At the end of the story, for 4 minutes, tell us another story is coming through on the radio signals. Bend your bum farting to try and catch it and exclaim, "Got it!" What happened once? Miss Belle Pum organised a picnic dinner one Friday night in January. Little did she know, along with 69 guests and friends, she accidentally invited Horse Magorse. She decided to play a joke on him. She invited some farm animals, including 5 pigs. When everyone was settled, Horse Magorse made a grand entrance, which made Miss Belle Pum fit with rage. She allowed the pigs to vomit into a pot and serve it as soup. Then they peed into glasses and served that as a drink. Finally, last but certainly least desirable, she allowed them to poo into plates and served it as chocolate pudding. This was revenge at Horse Magorse. The people were so sick, they vomited out their ears, making a ooh, gak 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 ta bloom sound. One lady vomited into her own vagina. One boy vomited up his penis. One man had diarrhea into a woman's mouth, and she vomited into his bum. This repeatedly occurred for 20 minutes until she perished. Miss Belle Pum chased Horse Magorse up the road with a cat in one hand and a pair of knickers in another. It was in Hauve's place. Remember, that includes also Miss Belle Pum's sister, Hauve, and her children. Pole, the male polar bear, Nuddles, the female golden bear and the youngest, Zoe, maid of Candy Floss, who is a Flossie and is round, and has short yellow hair in pigtails. Their mother is Miss Belle Pum's sister, Hauve, and is also round and made of Candy Floss also. In particular, we will discuss Pole, the male polar bear. Miss Belle Pum was organising the event. Miss Belle Pum panicked like a pickle on a Wednesday morning. Then, when she was asked to fill the hot chocolate machine, she accidentally sat the baby on top, pantsless, whilst she scurried to look for chocolate dust with the machine open. The baby had an episode of diarrhea into the hot chocolate, and to make matters worse, projectile vomited into the banana-flavoured milkshake mixture. This was accidentally served to 190 people. There was so much vomiting immediately that the windows broke as the smell was so pungent. One woman vomited into her elderly mother's mouth. One man vomited down a lady's back. Another little girl vomited into her jacket pockets. But worst of all, one man had diarrhea into a woman's mouth, and she then vomited into his bum, and vice versa, for about 20 minutes, continuous only stopping when the man died from water loss and the woman farted into him, pumping him up like a balloon. Meanwhile, whilst all of this was happening, Miss Belle Pum got a flower pot suck on her head. Halfway through the video for 3 minutes, tell us all about Miss Belle Pum. Introduce Miss Belle Pum's sister, Hauve, and her children, Pole, the male polar bear, Nuddles, the female golden bear and the youngest, Zoe, maid of Candy Floss, who is a Flossie, and is round and has short yellow hair in pigtails. Their mother is Ms. Belle Pum's sister, Hauve, and is also round and made of candy floss also. Horsma Gorse is Miss Belle Pum's arch enemy. And in the eyes of Jane Fitzcostelia and D. Bell Company, our company who make this video, he is a villain. He is a goody, two shoes, always trying to make out that we're mischievous and outrageous. Discuss the significance of a paper cup to Ms. Belle Pum. Discuss how some days she is seen getting people to contribute to the cup and others to consume. One day, she asked an old man to consume it. He immediately vomited back into the cup. She went round to all the neighbours and gave them a go. They all contributed to the cup. Floods of vomit filled the streets and a cry of "Weuk jeek" and "Kook kook blay, oi 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 oi." Be descriptive in vomiting. At the very end of the video, for 5 minutes, tell us what happened once. Miss Belle Pum was in charge of a Friday dinner party in the dark. The theme of the night was paper cups and gifts you can give in them, including brown ones. At the party, a calamity occurred when she served 2 men vomit instead of stew from her cup. At that moment, the heavens above warned that the cup had devastating consequences and made people cry, "Wah, wah, ha, 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 hoo, poo, hoo, po." They both heaved out the window. Hauve had a pepper so hot it came out of both ends immediately. One man vomited into his wife's mouth. One girl vomited into her own vagina. One lady vomited into 3 girls' hair. One man had diarrhea into a woman's mouth and she vomited up his bum, and this occurred repeatedly for 29 minutes until she died. A boy was so overwhelmed he vomited into his mother's handbag. Then Horsma Gorse ate a bit of explosive diarrhea powder and propelled himself to Beaumont Hospital with diarrhea. But Ms. Belle Pum danced with glee as he cup had worked. Yes, her cup was the culprit.